Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elke Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold over $15 million worth and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created the Profit by Design Academy, a 12-month coaching program where we will implement the 5 strategies we have used for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't coaching our amazing clients to reach millions in sales on Zazzle, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our own Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you can take to make money in your online business using Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to creating that perfect business, which will give you the freedom to live your dream life.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of as long as you work smarter, not harder. We're here to give you the tools you need to make your dream life happen. So let's get started. Hey there, it's Elke.
And Jen, and welcome to another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. And today we are talking about Zazzle versus Spoonflower and also telling you about the pros and cons of each.
We're here in this series of episodes. If you haven't watched or listened to some of the other ones, you can go and check them out. But we're comparing Zazzle to all these other print-on-demand companies so that you can be very clear as to where you want to start and what aligns best with your business objectives so that you can create a profitable online business. And when we looked ourselves to compare these options, like whether it was an older company like Redbubble or Society 6, and now like Spoonflower has been around for a while, but it's a newer one. What we've done is every time there's a new company that comes up, we've done this assessment ourselves. So now we're sharing that information with you so that we can always decide for ourselves what's best. And in this case, you get to decide what's best for you. So let's get started.
Mm-hmm. So the first thing we want to talk about, if you hadn't listened to the other podcasts like Elke mentioned, we want to say what print on demand is, because all of these platforms that we've been talking about, they are on print on demand platforms. So print on demand means that it's an e-commerce online shopping space and platform where the customer can come to a digital item. Let's say you've posted an item for sale online and it's digital, and you can view the digital version. And then once the order is placed, then it actually becomes a physical order and a physical product. So both Zazzle and Spoonflower are print-on-demand platforms.
Mm-hmm. And Spoonflower came about in a way that was more so for people that wanted to create fabric. That's how it started out. And that's actually still how some of the processes are as to how to promote and sell on that platform. And that's actually what's the detriment at the moment in terms of that compared to the Zazzle platform, which also offers fabric and things that are made of fabric, such as, pillows and duvet covers and etc. So there's going to be some overlap in comparison, but then for you as the seller on these platforms that are providing the designs that will be posted on the products for sale, just like Jen said, that you have to decide which hoops do you want to jump through to get your commissions and how much money does it pay you out, so that you can run an effective, profitable business that's mostly passive, because that's the whole objective of our scope of training and teaching people how to be empowered with an online entrepreneur type business. And that's the key for you to remember that, right? It's not just, oh, I like this platform better, or they have more fun products or something like that. Ultimately, you have to look at the whole picture and find out where is it that you can be very effective as a business owner running an online business. And so let's go dive into the Zazzle versus Spoonflower criteria that we have to judge and give you that perspective. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's start with the fact that both of them obviously are print-on-demand passive business models. So that's a given. But then what we want to go into right away is ease of use. And again, these criteria we've been using all the way through our comparison of all these different series of podcasts that we've done. So you're kind of getting used to it by now. Okay, so ease of use. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so ease of use is what we talk about when speaking for the designer point of view, like the way that you're able to post products for sale and have them be in your store. So on Spoonflower, it's good and easy because it's a bulk upload option. So you can add many products. You can add to many products with one design. So as Elke mentioned previously, it was mainly created for people who wanted to create fabrics, so using a lot of patterns and repeating patterns, and that's exactly what Spoonflower still is today. Is that you're creating these patterns so that you can print a fabric or wallpaper, basically. And so here you create the one fabric design, like your recurring pattern or pattern, and then you upload it. And then as long as it's uploaded onto the website, you can add it to all of these different types of products. So you can bulk upload, which is a pro, because then you can get a mass amount of products uploaded and posted in one single go, let's say. But on the Zazzle side of things is that we don't actually recommend that bulk upload because Zazzle offers much more customization, which we'll talk about in a bit in this podcast. But you're able to then create each individual product so that each one is different rather than having just a pattern put up on the product and that each product has the same pattern on it. So in terms of the pros for Spoonflower, that getting more products out there in a faster amount of time, it's easy because you can bulk upload all of them at once.
And even though there is that option on the Zazzle platform, we don't recommend it because, especially with repeating patterns, you want to make sure that it's unique and specifically designed for each type of product, whether it's fabric or home decor, pillows or duvet covers or anything like towels and so on, just so that the customer doesn't have any issues when they see it printed. And that allows you to create that specifically so that there's better quality control too, even though that's going to take a little bit more time. Okay, next one.
Yep. So the distribution network, in terms of what that means is that how are you able to use this platform and also be able to be leveraged on other platforms, or how is this platform helping you externally and distributing your work without you actually doing the work for it, right? So we talked about a lot about social media and creating your brand online, etc. But a lot of these platforms like Zazzle and now Spoonflower, they do extra work on their own end, on the back end, to help promote their products. Because when you sell a product as a designer, obviously the company like Spoonflower and Zazzle, they make money too. So they're actively working to promote your products, which is awesome for the designers because you don't have to do so much external work, let's say, because they're doing it for you in terms of their marketing campaigns. So on Spoonflower, they do third-party distribution using marketplaces such as Etsy, Amazon, and eBay, which is really great. So each of those platforms, Etsy, Amazon, and eBay, if you go on and you search Spoonflower, then you're able to find actually like a Spoonflower store and or products that are used or production process is done by Spoonflower. I don't know why that was so difficult to say, but Spoonflower distributes the products to these platforms, which is really great. So you get now another 3 types of different customers, like you're expanding your customer reach because, you know, Etsy customers go to Etsy, Amazon customers go to Amazon, and eBay customers go to eBay. Each one has a specific person and a clientele, right? And in a specific niche. So there you can actually branch out and sell to those types of people.
Yeah, and that's something that Zazzle has tried. They've partnered with Amazon, but we put that, quality or piece of, in terms of our criteria, we put that in the cons for Zazzle because with Amazon, they've only chosen certain types of products and certain types of niches that they're selling. So it's not a given that your particular thing is
going to actually be promoted.
Yeah, exactly, going to be promoted.
Yeah. And so unfortunately with that, Elke mentioned that it's a con. It's not truly like a con in a bad way, but the fact that like everything that you're posting on Zazzle could not potentially be on Amazon. And sometimes as well, since Zazzle, as I mentioned, we're going to get into that in terms of the customization, because Zazzle is a customizable platform, they're using their platform to be able to use the design tool so that the customers can fully 100% customize a product. When you're on eBay, Amazon, and Etsy, you're mostly selling the product as is, right? And that is one of the cons of Spoonflower, is that you're not able to customize it 100% because you're just buying the pattern and the product and you're buying those together as is.
Yeah, exactly. So some good and bad points there, but that's a biggie because of how you can then leverage your designs. And right now, the way you're leveraging your designs on Spoonflower is only that one way. They either like your pattern or they don't. They like that color or they don't. And then if you if you don't have what they do like, then it's obviously not going to be a sale for you. Okay, next. So let's do some costs. How do the two compare?
So yeah, and we've got this underneath one of our cons for Spoonflower. So the costs in terms of the process of joining or posting products for sale on Spoonflower, you actually need to proof, quote unquote, one of your products or designs before you
design,
your design, sorry, before you post a product. So if you're a designer on Spoonflower, you are creating patterns and designs to upload. When you post a design for sale and put it on a certain product and or bulk upload, you have to buy a proof of one of your designs to make sure that your pattern, first of all, lines up properly and matches in terms of the pattern reoccurring, and then also that your colors are correct, because sometimes, and not all designers know this, but sometimes when you upload an image onto your platform and you see the resolution or the color values on your computer, that's not truly what it will be like when it's actually printed. And so Spoonflower, as part of their policy, makes you order one of your prints before you can actually officially post it for sale, because they want to make sure that it is genuine in the way that you created it and how it's supposed to look. So that means that every time that you create a new design or pattern, before you're actually able to start selling it online, you have to buy a version for yourself and make sure that it's okay.
It's like a swatch.
Yeah.
So, but still, there's a cost involved.
There's a cost involved.
And a delay in how quickly you can get things uploaded. And there's a review process, which is kind of tough.
Yeah.
Which is, not something that Zazzle asks of you.
Yeah. And so in retrospect for Zazzle, you're allowed to post your products for sale as soon as you make them, and there's no proofing process, and you don't have to wait for it to actually be in the marketplace. As soon as you click the button that says publish or post your product for sale, it's now in the marketplace and can be purchased.
Yeah, I mean, it may take a few days or weeks depending on where they are in their integration, but yes, definitely, ultimately, it's approved for the marketplace. You might just not see it right away. But still, this approval of swatches for us was one of the big downsides of us deciding whether or not we really wanted to be on the Spoonflower platform. Okay, so next, number of potential customers. Do you want me to handle this one?
Sure.
Okay, so just by looking at SimilarWeb, which is a site that shows you some traffic details, and we'll put the links in the show notes just so you can have a look yourself. But Spoonflower has 1.8 million visitors a month, and Zazzle has 17.5 million visitors a month. So that is a huge difference. It's a tenfold increase compared to, so Zazzle's way above, and every month 10-fold more customers come to that platform than they do to Spoonflower. So this is definitely where Zazzle wins out on that one. And that just goes right to our earnings potential, because we want to have the most possible number of people, or as we say, eyeballs on our stuff, so that people can purchase, because it's a numbers game, right? The more people you have looking at your things, the more sales you can get, because your chances of selling are somewhere between a 1 to 10% conversion. So the more people that are looking, the higher your numbers of possible sales are. Okay, next one.
Okay, so you have earnings potential then. So each print-on-demand platform, you're obviously posting products for sale so that you can make money online, right? But with the print-on-demand platform, you earn a percentage. You don't earn the entire amount of money for the sale, because the print-on-demand platforms do the shipping, they do the manufacturing, they do the handling, they do customer service, etc. So each platform, you earn a percentage because you're basically licensing out your designs, right? And so on a Spoonflower, you have a set royalty of 10%, plus you can get bonuses up to 15%. But on the Zazzle marketplace, you're actually allowed to change your royalty and have it as low as 5% if you want, and you can go all the way up to 99%. But this means obviously that the price point of the product will change. However, you have that flexibility to say, no, the value of my product is much more and I want that royalty. So you will get that amount and that percentage. But on Spoonflower, you're not allowed to change those percentages. It's either 10 or 15.
Yeah. So that, again, even though we suggest you put your royalty at 10% on the Zazzle marketplace to be competitive, there's other things in terms of volume bonus and referral fees that can add to your bottom line in terms of earnings without having to increase the price of your product. And so you can be competitive and still earn quite a bit of money based on how you promote and drive traffic to your products on the Zazzle marketplace. And so that's the better strategy than just continuing to try and sell more and more on the Spoonflower platform in order to get that extra little bit. They do offer some bonuses if they have incremental things where if you sell X number, then you get 11%, or if a little bit more, you get 13%, etc. And they go up to 15% as a volume bonus type of deal. But again, you'd have to drive the traffic and you'd have to have the number of sales to even get to that 15%. And it's not really that big a switch. Whereas with the Zazzle platform, you can go up to 35% extra in your referral fee. And so therefore, if you add 10%, which is your royalty that we suggest in the Zazzle marketplace, plus the 35%, then you're actually almost at like 45, 50% of earnings from that one customer sale, which is so much more lucrative. So definitely Zazzle wins out on terms of the earnings potential there.
Have you heard about the Profit by Design Academy yet?
Are you looking for the perfect online business or side hustle that gives you monthly cash flow so you can live your dream life?
Are you a new or current Zazzle creator who is struggling to figure out how to make Zazzle work for you, worried that you're wasting your time and using the throw spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks trick method, and unsure about how you can start and scale your Zazzle business?
Then the Profit by Design Academy is a perfect solution for you. You will feel confident, supported, and clear on how you will create a financial abundance side hustle using the Zazzle marketplace.
Imagine having access to the exact 5 strategies that we've used to build our Zazzle business and scale it, which we have sold over $15 million worth of Zazzle products so far with that method.
And that's not just us. We've helped our coaching clients in the Profit by Design Academy sell over $30 million worth of Zazzle products combined.
We invite you to join this incredible coaching experience where you receive the proven roadmap and hands-on support to accelerate your Zazzle business and make your dream of achieving passive income a reality.
Head on over to the show notes to grab the link, and we will see you on the inside. Or go to elkeclark.com/start-and-scale.
Now let's get back to the show.
So the next one is product availability. And this is based on the product types that are available on the platform, right? And so on Spoonflower, there's a limited selection of product types to sell. There are different ranges. So you have home decor, you have clothing, you have any type of sort of fabric type things. And then they also do go into wallpapers as well. However, they don't have anything that's more like not fabric material, if that makes sense, and or wallpaper. And so you're limited to those selections of items. And Zazzle has it says 1,500 products that you can sell. And that's not limited to fabric. It's also stationery. It's home decor in terms of like accessories like mugs and dishware. You have streamers, you have banners, you have lampshades, sports equipment, you have ping pong tables, edibles, not edible, like edibles being cookies, not because the edibles being cookies and chocolates and etc. and brownies and things like that. And so they have a whole other range of products that you're able to work with. And so on Spoonflower, unless you really want to just focus on fabric and wallpaper type products, then Zazzle gives you so much more of an opportunity to branch out into other places.
Yeah, because the only thing that Zazzle doesn't have is wallpaper, which is interesting, but it has like vinyl stickers, but they don't have wallpaper. But otherwise, they have everything else that Spoonflower offers. So, and then of course more.
Yeah. And so the next one is customization.
Customization is our favorite. We always talk about that. That has leveraged our business to the, 6 and 7 figure mark because we've figured that out, that's where the customers obviously come to Zazzle because of that customization. And also we can then leverage our product inventory in such a way that if we just set our templates up properly, then we can attract so many different customers. It's not just like a design matches one customer or 10 customers like the same design. It's that one customer might like the same design concept and then they can switch it. So when we're talking about customization, we're talking text and photo and even sometimes graphics. So if you make everything with customization in mind on the Zazzle platform when you're posting your design, whether it be on any of the products that we're talking about, then the customer can come in and play around with the editing tool and with the templates that we set up so that it doesn't even look the same as what our original sample was that we posted for sale, but they've used that initially as their working model, and then they customize it and personalize it for themselves. And so we are just like so thrilled about that that Zazzle had that even from way back, but they've just developed over the years such a sophisticated editing tool and the ability to do that it's now known for that. And obviously there's other people that are starting to come into that space of customization, but they're nowhere near the sophistication and the flexibility and variety of things that the customer can do on their own. And for us, that's huge as well, because we don't have to do custom work for the client as custom one-off work, which means that our time is much more spent creating more products that can be passively sold, where the customer is doing that work and we're not even involved in the process, and so we still get paid.
Yeah. So the next one is type of market. And so type of market means the type of people or customers who come onto the platform and or who will buy the products from each platform. So Spoonflower, the market that is attracted by Spoonflower is more so the surface graphic pattern art type of person, and that whether be the customer and or the designer, right? So if you are a designer who works with graphic design and does a lot of pattern or surface pattern art, then you probably might be a little bit more attracted to go to Spoonflower. On the other hand, with Zazzle, the type of market is anybody, right? You can do graphic design, surface patterns, you can be a text designer, you can be a photographer, an artist, you can be a non-artist or a non-creative as well, and just a business person, and or you can do monograms, you can do like finding your niche. We had a lot of clients who really like knitting or martial arts, and they decided that, because of their passion for this type of hobby that they have, they really want to cater to that community and get into that space. And so it's so flexible being on Zazzle. No matter who you are and what you are and where your passions lie, you're able to create something wonderful on your Zazzle store and create your brand. With Spoonflower, you are not, you're limited, let's say, to the patterns, because that's what they created it for. It's for fabric and for wallpaper and those types of designs using those surface patterns, which is wonderful. There's a huge community for that. And we're not saying that that's a disadvantage. It's just that the disadvantage is that if you're not into surface patterns, then you probably don't have a space on Spoonflower. You would most likely come to Zazzle and have that freedom, right?
And also, Spoonflower limits your ability to sell your pattern in multiple different ways, right? As on Spoonflower, people either like your pattern or they don't. Whereas on the Zazzle marketplace, you can use your pattern as is, which is what you can do on Spoonflower. But then ultimately, you can also add, change up the design and use your pattern in different ways that include anything with a photo template. So they can add your name or a monogram or extra text and or a photograph. So, and that could be anything. It could be a photograph of a wedding couple. It could be a photograph of your father, or because for Father's Day, it can be for your kid's school. It could, it's just endless as to the number of people and customers and niches that you can expand your pattern into, rather than it just being a pattern for your house.
Yeah.
And so this is why we love Zazzle. Okay, what's the last one?
The last one is design versatility.
And I think we kind of touched on it, but let's keep going.
Yeah. So, Elke just mentioned basically how you can leverage your design, right? She had literally just said either the customer likes your pattern on Spoonflower or they don't, right? If you have a pattern and because it's not able to be customized or changed into a different version, then if they like it, they like it. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. On Zazzle, you're able to take a pattern and change it yourself. So you can decide, hey, I'm going to take this pattern, I'm going to make a beautiful birthday card or whatever it may be. And or the customer can have your pattern there and they can actually go into the design tool themselves and they're able to completely change it. So Elke mentioned previous in this podcast episode that some people can completely change the design. It says literally the base product is yours. They chose your design for some reason. And because they know how to now go into the design tool, they can completely 100% change it and then buy it. And it's a completely different version and or doesn't even have your original content in it, which is fine because you still get the royalty. I've had some of my wedding invitations be purchased and I have had reviews posted on my product and they send pictures, which is wonderful because then you can get to see what the end product looks like. And I look at the end product and I say, that's not my product at all. I don't even have that in my store. But it's because they've taken the concept of your idea, of your design, and then they got into their own head in terms of their creative process, right? And then they finally decided, hey, this is actually what I want. So on Zazzle, the customer also has 100% of the possibility to 100% customize on their own as well. And with Spoonflower, if they don't like the product and they don't like the design, they're going to move on to the next one. There's no way that they can change the design to fit their needs, right? And that's one thing that we tell our clients in our Profit by Design Academy all the time, is that not only are you posting your products for sale on a print-on-demand platform to make money, but you have to understand the customer buying behaviors too, right? And the customer psychology behind everything. Because if the person doesn't like the product and they don't know how to change it, or even have the effort to contact you as a designer on Spoonflower, they're just going to search for something that they like, and they're going to find it and buy it, right? They're not going to make that extra step of the effort, because for them, it's too much work. And on Zazzle, we take away that work process for the customer. We make it as easy as possible for them to customize the design and make it theirs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So again, it comes down to that. And also for us, let's just review some of the things that, like, we like Spoonflower. It's people we know that we have in our Profit by Design Academy. They are on Spoonflower, but they do recognize these limitations. And so that's what we're going to cover here to round it up and finish off. So in terms of the Spoonflower negatives, there's 10% or 10 times less traffic to the marketplace compared to Zazzle. Costs for you to actually get a design approved, so that you have to buy a little swatch, you have to pay for it, and then you have to wait for them to approve it, etc. like that. So whereas you don't have that at all in Zazzle, you just upload it and it's all free, and there's no approval process. Then the fixed royalty is something that bothers us, even though we sometimes, for the most part, even set our royalty at the same percentage as what Spoonflower does. That ability to have that leverage, that if you wanted to increase it, like some of our better designs that have sold over and over again, we start to increase the royalty, right? And because of that, because it's something that people demand, we can actually make a little bit more off of each sale, because we already created that demand and that popularity for that particular design. And so that's just something that you can't do on Spoonflower. And what's next? Then in terms of earnings, there's opportunities to earn way more in terms of percentages because of the affiliate program, and which is not available on Spoonflower. There's only like a little bit of a sales volume bonus that goes up to 15% as a total earnings possibility, whereas we love our royalties and referrals when they come in. Oh my gosh, they can be like even $60 to $70 on one sale, because it's a 35% extra income that we get if we sell our own products that we've driven traffic to the site for. And so, yeah, it adds up really pretty quickly. Now, the number of products, too, is a little bit of a detriment. Spoonflower has continually improved and increased their number of products that they offer. It used to own fabric, now it's wallpaper and all kinds of products that have fabric involved with the process of creating a product. But as Jen mentioned, a ton of products that are on Zazzle are absolutely not even possible on the Spoonflower platform. So we have to vote for Zazzle on the product options available for Zazzle as being the winner. And then the last one is the customization, which Spoonflower doesn't have that option, and Zazzle has, so that just opens up a world of opportunities to create more revenue for you compared to Spoonflower. Okay, so that's our critique on Zazzle versus Spoonflower. And thank you so much for listening and watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast with us, Jen and Elke Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to building your online business that gives you the monthly cash flow you want while working less and living more.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce online business.
Follow us on Instagram at Ms. Jen Clark and at Elke Clark, and DM us with your biggest takeaway from today's episode. See you back here next week.